Okay, so we're at a pavilion in motherfucking Gage, motherfucking Park, because it's taken about 15 minutes to come to this general Latinization of a fucking conclusion. So we are in the fucking park, at the fucking pavilion. Kim, take it from there.
Okay, so Mr. St. Shadman, play the Baron, is not here, but Ash did call up the Baron and be like, yo, so you know that Luke is due, right? So, like, some stuff's going on, and I gotta apologize for what he did earlier, because I don't want to start shit between the changelings and the vampires, because we're dealing with other shit right now. So he did set a meeting and a time for this meeting, at a meeting place and whatnot. So I don't know if y'all just want to roll that the Baron called y'all up and was like, yo, meet this dude here. You know, yeah. But either way, this is pretty much, it's just the changelings showing up to, you know, an Ash to talk about something and apologies. So Ash would be there, as always, with Ollie. And he does have a kitten, because he's got like 3 left, and he's trying to send them off to get adopted. So he's just chilling there with, you know, Ollie on one side, you know, and the cat in his hands in the other. And he's just idly talking to the cat while he waits for everyone to show up. And you guys can hear it's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry I stick you in my pocket so much. I just can't, you know, I'm not going to just carry you around. I have a reputation to uphold as a manly man. You know, blah, 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 blah. And he's being very sarcastic as he's talking to this cat. You can tell it's all in fun and jest, and he's really fucking bored.
Okay. As Sean isn't here, let's just assume as the only knight here, he'll have basically told me, go and receive this apology, bring it back to me, because I have to have a meeting with him anyway. So I will have rounded up the gaggle of squires, because there are at least 3 squires here, which I believe constitutes a gaggle, though I'll have to refer to Tiger on the exact number of a gaggle. Tiger, how many is a gaggle?
For me, will ya?
A gaggle is 2.5 squires.
Excellent.
So we gotta cut somebody in half?
Yep. Hey, Sherwood, come here. This will only hurt a lot.
I volunteer.
Yeah.
But,
Chewing your arm down to the elbow can't be a pleasant experience.
But so the 3 squires, the knight, and a boggin in tow, who's bringing a picnic basket, will proceed to make their way through Gage Park until they come to the pavilion. Good afternoon, Ash. Triori will say as he steps out from the eaves of the surrounding trees to look up at the pavilion where Ash is standing.
He'll set the kitten back into his pocket, and the cat's like, you know, mew, 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 mew. And he's very unhappy at being set back into the pocket. But he will just, will look back up, and then just kind of wave and say, hello?
Allow me to do the formal introduction. You've already met, you've already met Olaf von Bargen, aka my squire Olaf von Bargen. This is my other squire, Mr. Kieran Winger. Allow me to introduce Mr. Ash.
Kieran will wave.
Ash will throw a peace sign.
Sure, I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head.
Eddie Broken.
As in broken, as in a broken thing?
That's how it sounds.
Okay. Allow me to also introduce Squire Broken, he will say, gesturing at him.
Broken, for the purposes of where he's at, is hovering far too close to the boggin in his picnic basket.
The boggin has already handed the cat 4 small parcels that, when opened, are muffin-sized steak and kidney pies. They taste delicious.
Regardless, the red cap is thinking about seconds.
The basket will remain open.
Well, that's not what he means, but I'll accept that premise.
It's called discouragement.
Triori will basically hold out his hand for the for the bargain to place a glass of wine in it before he brings it up and takes a sip. We like to do negotiations or meetings in a more civilized manner. But you had something you wanted to give us or speak to us about.
Yeah, I wanted to speak with you guys. And he'll look down at Ollie, and he'll just pretty much say, Ollie, circle around the pavilion and make sure, nobody is watching or eavesdropping. And he won't, like, say it. He'll, do dog speech and animalism and all that. I don't know exactly how it works. Bark, bark, something like
squeaker,
that.
squeaking.
I don't know, something like that. And Ollie, I guess, with the one ST that's in here's permission, will kind of just walk around and do perception alertness and just keep an eye out and make sure nobody's like watching in and eavesdropping.
How close would Ollie consider eavesdropping?
I mean, Ollie's got like int 2 or 3. He probably knows that anyone who is near the pavilion at night is probably doing some shifty shit and probably should not be around. Or at least, warn Ash about.
Okay. Let me make some rules.
For the record, Triori will totally pet Ollie as he walks past. Because Ollie is a good dog. Good dog.
Ollie's like best dog.
He will also possibly be mentally measuring the size of Ollie as a breed to the size of the boggin and contemplating having a very small saddle acquired and a very large dog bought for science.
I mean, like, if I remember right, it's a big dog to begin with because it's a Great Dane, but then when they are ghouled, don't they get like a little bit bigger or something like that?
Okay.
I think they gain more muscle mass. Sorry, continue on.
So, I guess, Ollie would report back, at least, that the closest person that he can find that's outside is over about 200 feet away. Quite a distance away from the pavilion. And it's not even watching the pavilion. But it's sitting there because the pavilion is right next to a little man-made pond. And he's sitting at one of the benches in front of the pond.
Okay. Then you just tell him to keep an eye out, but just keep an eye out on him.
If it helps,
Okay.
he's currently being fed a chicken leg. Does Ollie like chicken?
I mean, chicken bones can get lodged in their throats.
He's only being fed the soft meat.
Damn it, Evan. He's a tough guard dog. Why are you gonna treat him like this?
Because he's also an adorable puppy.
I guess. Either way, when all that's said and done, Ash will just kind of look up. He'll just kind of crack his knuckles, but you can tell it's just kind of like that I'm bored and I'm really pissed off that I'm having to do all of this. And he'll just say, okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure we weren't being listened on. Stuff like that. Plus, I did come out here to walk Ollie as well, and dude needs his exercise. Okay. It was made apparent to me that someone under... how to phrase this? Someone under my care threatened the life of one of your more reputable members of your society. Lucas. What I was told was not very good and does not put my kind in a good light. I have come here to say that Lucas has been reprimanded and that he is not under any circumstances to interact with you guys at all, at least not without myself or the other guardian that is watching him.
Triori will nod, and he will say, I suppose that is acceptable. Whom is the other guardian?
Miss Sullivan.
Triori's eyes kind of half close for a second. What is her full name?
I'm not sure she wants that given out. Whenever you meet her, if she wishes to tell you, then she will tell you.
That is agreeable. So, you guarantee that this Lucas will not approach the Baron again without you or this Miss Sullivan being in attendance, yes?
Indeed. This Lucas is currently staying with me at where I reside. I am, for the most part, able to keep track of where he goes, but there are times when I am not able to do that, and he goes to Miss Sullivan. So, if he is to go out, and he is not in either the presence of myself or Miss Sullivan, then I would ask that we are contacted in some manner, or at least that I be contacted.
If he chooses to interact violently towards any of us, he is open game, though, duh.
He'll kind of think over that for a moment, and then he'll say, you can defend yourself. I would ask that you defend yourself naturally, of course, but that you do not kill him. If he attacks you, please incapacitate him, because then either myself or Miss Sullivan will come and pick him up, and I assure you he will probably not last the rest of that evening. Even though you wish to kill him, he is still our kind, and we have protocols that need to be followed.
If we are able to subdue him without his death, then yes, we shall make attempts to do so. If not, we shall apologize in advance. We will defend ourselves.
Naturally.
It may be within our best interests to assure that we will do our utmost to incapacitate and not kill, unless the need itself is dire, yeah?
Yes, this is agreeable. So, I take it from the attitude that you have shown here, Ash, that you do not want conflict between our kind and yours.
No. I'm sure we both have bigger things to deal with, and we don't need petty squabbling over the acts of an idiot child.
Don't we all?
I can second that.
Yes.
He is already on thin ice with our kind. I will allow you to know that. That is why he is under the near constant supervision of myself and Miss Sullivan.
Triori will drain the last of his wine, or without looking, he'll throw the glass over his shoulder, and the boggin, being a boggin, will probably catch it. Just being like, whoop, got it. Yeah. Very good. In that case, as the Baron is not here, I am happy to accept your apology on his behalf, and will bring word of your deed to him. Should he have any further requirements as pertaining to you or this matter, he will broach the issue with him. He will broach the issue with you himself.
I think we should make one thing clear, though. He shows face in front of Baron again. He will not last. But I'm pretty sure the Baron would agree that this is rightful, especially after being attacked once.
If the circumstances merit it, of course.
Yes. If, to use the Baron's colloquialism, if the dog is out without his leash, then we will consider him a threat.
He nods. Says, that's acceptable. It's also been made clear to me that he has taken a liking to one of yours.
Yes.
Which one?
Madam Cece. That will also cease.
As I have already told him.
Good. Traori will kind of do a half turn to the group, so he's currently half facing Ash, half facing the changelings, and he will say, "When we first encountered this being, he was enamored of the Fixie. He then proceeded to the only likeness I can give was behave like a dog, a loyal dog to her, until such point as he was driven away after he attacked the Baron. Apparently, he then became mist, fog, and followed her away. Charming, no?
This seems dangerous, but
Yes.
as we have made apparent, he will be dealt with if necessary. Yeah?
He is to have no further contact with this young one. I would like you to see to this, Mr. Ash."
That's agreeable.
Good. She
Just
is
as
young
well-
and... Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
If I may. And just to be clear, he is also not allowed upon our borders without proper accompaniment and approval beforehand.
I don't think he's going to be doing much of that. I rarely let him out of my home.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Very well, then. Traori will stand. He will say, "So, you have issued us an apology. We have accepted. The issue as it pertains to that is now over. You make the agreement with us, here gathered and here present, that you, or this Miss Sullivan, will accompany him to any further endeavors or meetings with our kind. If he does so, if he attempts to do so by himself, he will be considered in violation of this agreement and will be considered our enemy. We will then return his broken, yet living body to you. In exchange, as I have said, we will consider this matter done and foreclosed, with the addendum that he is also not to harass this Fixie girl any longer. Is this our agreement?"
I shall nod. I'll say, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Then so let the dreaming sanctify this agreement. And I have to roll some dice. Contracts is a...
Eddie seems a little apprehensive, but he's not going to say anything.
Contracts is so wonderful. I love that freaking name. That does raise the question. In order to bind everyone here to that oath, I would have to throw Scene into the mix, wouldn't I?
Yep.
Okay. So as I don't possess Scene, let's spend 2 glamour to get the level of scene I would require to encompass us all, because you can now spend glamour to basically use arts, which I think is amazing.
Access realms.
Yeah. He will take a bottle of ink from the inner folds of his robe. It's a pure kind of black ink that has silver flakes mixed through it, and he will throw it up into the. He will throw the ink bottle up into the air 3 times before smashing it onto the ground. I will let Chris tell me what kind of bunk I get for that, because it's just a normal bunk. Bunk.
Depends on how much my internet hates me. You're just tossing the bottle up 3 times and catching it?
He's tossing the bottle up into the air 3 times, and then he's smashing the bottle on the ground.
I think that might technically qualify for the -2.
Okay. So it starts diff 8, becomes diff 9 because I'm using scene. -2, so it becomes diff 7.
Correct.
Cool. I will roll my pool. Also, which realm? Okay. If you're using your affinity realm, it lowers the difficulty by 1, but does that have to be the only realm you're using in the cantrip, or does it any realm that also includes your
You
affinity?
just have to include it in your cantrip, and it has to be applicable.
Yeah, in that case, because I'm binding changelings to it, I will use Fey, which is my affinity realm, because all of you here are either common or ranked changelings, so you'll count for Fey too, which means it'll lower the difficulty down again by 1, which means it becomes difficulty 6.
Do you have enough actor for the vampire?
I do have enough actor for the vampire, yeah.
And remember, you'll use the lowest of your dice pools between Fey and Actor.
Yeah, which is Fey, ironically. So that's still going to be that many. It's only 3 dice. So 3 d10s, difficulty 6. I'm going to spend a willpower because fuck if I want to not. So yeah, he successfully binds the contract with 2 successes.
Okay.
So everyone here is bound by that agreement, and it will be is bound by that agreement, and you kind of all feel a little bit of a tingle down your spine as the contract is signed in the presence of the dreaming, etc. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm pleased that unpleasantness is behind us, Mr. Pan.
Indeed. And he'll pull out a like a card. It's crumpled, but it's got his number on it, and he'll hand it to you. And he'll say, if you see him out and about without myself or a woman with him, I'd suggest giving me a call.
We shall do this.
Oh, and one more thing. And he'll pull out an envelope from the inside of his coat as well. This is not the one that he got from the Ventru, because he was like, I don't even trust the Ventru. Fuck that, though. It's his own. Yeah, it's his own letter. He'll just kind of hand it to you and say, if you can give that to the Baron for me, I'd much appreciate it.
You don't mind that I will read it and make sure that there is no enchantment or anything else upon it before giving it to the Baron, I trust.
I would prefer it stay between myself and him, but if you and your kind have some sort of thing you can do to look at it and look for any magical effects, that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, you know what? I'll throw Kenning at the envelope, because he's not just going to hand the Baron a letter bomb. That would be so funny, though. Cause of Baron's death, open the letter.
I mean, it's not like you did nothing to the letter.
That's 5 successes for Kenning on the letter. Kim, is there anything wobbly about it?
No?
Okay.
There's like nothing. It's thin, so it doesn't look like there's, anything. If you look at it and you hold it in the light, it doesn't look like there's any sort of powder inside. It's got no
I was going to
magical
say, open
effects.
it up. White powder falls out. Well, that's anthrax. Don't.
Open it up, white powder falls out. Oh, damn it, my flower.
Oh my god. Like, the worst about this letter is it smells a little bit like the sewer. That's the worst of it. And maybe a little bit of cat fur.
Very well. Triori will place the Triori will place the envelope inside the folds of his robe and will say, I will deliver it to the Baron.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
And with that, is our duty here complete?
Triori.
He'll take the kitten out by the scruff and say, if anyone wants a kitten, I think that'll just kind of end it.
I'll accept it.
You're
He's
not gonna
going to eat it.
are you?
No.
Chris, let's do some perception empathy on that to see if you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Oh, okay.
You
Just
swear to
imagine
me.
a pair of little motorcycle goggles on this kitten riding with me on my motorcycle at night.
Is this why you go and train for the Austrian bodybuilding competition?
Not Austrian, you... Ah.
I feel like instead of Eddie, your name should be Jorge.
You're not wrong.
They keep talking about the bodybuilding competitions. They are only jealous.
Trolls
Oh
doing
yeah,
all bodybuilding.
totally jealous of you, Thorin Oakenshield.
I keep telling you, I do not know who this person is.
What is the little kitchen's name?
He'll look at the cat, and he'll ask the cat his name. Or its name, her name, I don't care. But because Kim can't think right now, somebody come up with a name that sounds very cat-like.
Whiskers.
Schmooglepoof.
I don't think a cat's gonna name itself Smooglepoof. Or
How do you
Whiskers.
know?
Lord Vicious McTearing Throat the 93rd.
You've had some bad experiences with cats, Anthony. Christ.
Steve? Okay, you know what? We're gonna throw it back to Steve the Goblin from Hong Kong, so he'll just look back and he'll say, his name is Steve.
Hello, Stephen. Oddly enough, in the Redcap's presence, the cat is ever so calm and cool.
And I'll hand the kitten over. And he's giving you some side-eye, like I swear to God, if this cat is dead, there's gonna be words.
Rubbing the kitten under its chin, the Redcap gives a very, very wide smile. For those of you who can see the seaming, it's way too creepy. But he actually seems genuinely enthused to have this kitten.
Awesome, because now Ash has just got 2 kittens left to get rid of now.
Where did the kittens come from?
Spay and neuter your
He
cat.
lives, he lives in the sewers, and I'm assuming people, when they just don't want their animals, will just throw them in various places. Like, it happens all the time. And so he was just walking around the sewers and found, this bag of kittens, and he was just like, "Fuck those people who did this. These kittens are mine now, and they're going to be raised very well."
The Boggin will lean over with a small jar of anchovies and vinegar and just offer one to the kittens.
If it helps, Anthony, I took a kitten from him yesterday. So there is now a cat at home.
Right.
Named Sir Galahad.
Ah, of course.
I forgot. Does acute senses count for perk awareness checks?
Yes.
Yeah, depending on the kind of sense.
Chris, is this hearing or sight based?
No, not really.
Damn. Oh well, still got 3
If it's not
successes.
sight-based, then I got 3 successes.
Hold on.
And I got 3.
I quadruple. No, I didn't dodge. But that was
Yeah, that was
icy.
a fail.
I'm rather happily oblivious.
If someone wouldn't mind rolling for those for me.
Okay, I got you. Okay, you guys succeed.
Excellent.
I'm gonna be super mad if it turns out that dude was eavesdropping the whole time and Ollie didn't catch him.
Well, no, Ollie would have reported that he's still sitting at the bench by the lake.
The wrong person, isn't it?
Or he's just using some werewolf gift.
Mega ears.
No, he's not using mega ears.
Dang.
It sounds to be a fucking. It sounds to be like a fucking comatose or something.
Okay, so those who got one success, you basically sense, magic go off as well. Those with like 2 and 3, it kind of comes from the general direction of the little pond next to the lake, or pond next to the pavilion.
So we're at where Ollie is.
So, House Alune, how does that work with this? Like, is it magic? Can we...
We can, yeah, but I was gonna say,
get
if we can
remake
roll perception. I need to get Sean to house rule this because we can identify magic, and but I think because it's obviously just a changeling thing, they only put in you can identify arts. But I was going to see if he'd house rule it so we can identify just general magics, but for the time being, I think it's not. I don't know. Words.
I believe Greymane does work to allow the countering of magic. It can use. I think.
Yeah, you can counter magic with Greymane, but no, we were talking more like the House Ilunid House Boon, which is basically roll perception plus kenning to
I would assume if you can counter magic with Greymane, then Greymane, therefore by definition, affects all forms of magic, and since the House Ilunid thing is Greymane based, it would therefore by definition apply to all forms of magic.
This is a conversation I will have with Sean eventually. For now,
I'm going to make a rules call based off of the exact wording. Greymane is essential for comprehending all things related to dreaming, including mortal and prodigal magic and mystical practices. It specifically states mortal and prodigal magic is included in Greymane.
Of
So that
vampires,
means-
werewolves, wraiths, etc.
Yep. So
Yeah,
you can
that
roll
means, Gronk, yes, you can
Greymane.
roll your perception thingy. Yeah, perception.
Greymane
range.
to figure out what kind of magic it was.
Okay.
I didn't see shit in character, so I can't make the roll.
Yeah, hold on.
So,
Sorry, what-
I didn't bother rolling.
If you wouldn't mind rolling me 7 dice first, I believe at -1 diff.
Right.
Oh yes, because you're an Esquire of House Ilunid, aren't
I believe so.
you? Yeah.
Waiting for it to load it. 6 successes.
I'm going to
sweet
spend a
Jesus.
willpower.
Okay, what do I realize with 6 successes, Chris?
Okay. So with 2 successes and kind of really with basically the power that went off is basically kind of like a magical mirror, almost like takes and reflects magic. With 6 successes, it's more like magic that copies magic that happens in the area and allows him to use it at a later date.
Right. In that case, my first words to everyone will be to basically hiss to the group. Whatever you do casts no powers, no abilities, nothing. Like, just hissing to the whole group.
I think it's called for. Perhaps it is hammer time.
Triori kind of looks down where he's standing at the. He's looking down where he's standing at the boggin, and quirks his head to the side and says, "What's wrong, Henry?"
Whatever powers we use that effect, it will mirror them, allow them to be copied and kept for later, whoever uses that effect. We don't want to arm a potential foe with our own gifts.
Simple question, gentlemen. Our business here with this Ash individual is concluded, yeah?
Correct.
If something's about to happen, why don't we just leave?
There are many reasons for that.
We have more important things to worry about, and after all, we are not inside our borders.
Currently, we are, actually.
We are not.
Are we not?
We're not.
Chris, are we not?
We are not within the boundaries of our particular barony.
Yeah.
Fuck if I care, then. Ooh.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Triori will basically jump down from the pavilion where he's been standing and kind of motion to the changelings without speaking, as in just, yes, we're moving now.
Yes. Henry quickly packs everything up into the basket. Time we were gone.
You can leave the wine bottle. That was a terrible vintage.
Come along, Stephen. You're my new friend.
It's Steve. Not Steven.
I'm his father now.
Ooh, Ash looks like he's got something to say, but this bitch ain't ballsy enough to do it in front of like 6 changelings.
You know what? As we make our way through the park, I get the distinct impression something cast that because they were expecting us to start casting magic, meaning it's highly about to get jumped. So let's rock some perception alertness as we go to try and identify if we're about to get our asses jumped. Seems reasonable to me.
I am preparing a bunk. I've got to write a small poem that I will be saying. Hold on.
Yeah, I
And
think
by
it is
small
reasonable
poem, I
to
mean
say
this
that
is going to be a while.
As we're leaving, we're looking over our shoulders just in case.
I think Chris is frozen.
He's
Yeah.
not.
I'm not frozen.
No, he's not.
Oh. Okay, so perception alertness, okay, Chris?
Yep, sure is.
Swear to God, if it's another like Nah school coming up in here with obfuscate and stuff.
Chris, that would just be 3 dice if you would be so kind.
Can do.
Is this hearing or sight based?
Yeah, sight.
I am choosing not to roll as I am reciting a poem as a bunk.
Or
I am
successes?
also distracted by the adorable little kitten, and I'm still munching part of a kidney pie.
If it helps, the kidney
They're only
pie.
the size of muffins.
I'm munching kidney pies.
Right.
If it helps, they're everything you dreamed they would be, and more.
Pies.
This is why the
Okay.
boggin cooks in such vast quantities.
So, when y'all are leaving, because the pavilion is actually right next to the parking lot, like less than like 30 steps from the pavilion into the parking lot. It's actually like 20. So it's really not very far for y'all to go from the pavilion into the parking lot. The only person that those of you with successes notice is young man, early 20s, brown hair, sitting on one of the benches down by the pond. And when y'all are leaving, he does at least glance in y'all's direction before going back to staring at the pond.
Yeah, because Ollie has been watching him this whole time, and then weird stuff started happening. Ash is just gonna walk over there while everyone else is leaving.
Yeah, I think the changeling should just scoff us.
I don't know. I'm writing a poem. It's gonna be epic, and then I'm gonna summon a dragon.
And so Ash is just walking over there. He's pulled his scarf back up, And he's kind of moved his head or his hat down, so it's like you'd have to get right under the brim of his hat to see his face.
Yeah.
And he'll just walk over and say, you know what?
Sup,
Nah, he'd just be like, was that you that just did that?
Possibly. I felt something happened and wasn't really paying much attention to what it was, but I felt something happen.
Is this dude? Let me roll some perk empathy.
Olaf.
What are you trying to get with your perk empathy?
That dude was lying about him just feeling it and that he wasn't the one that did it. Ah, well, screw me then. Never mind. I gotta fail.
Let me make sure he doesn't botch. There's always the off chance that the dude botches.
Right?
Now, he got 10 successes.
You got what?
Fuck!
10 successes.
Did you say 10 successes?
Yes.
Yep.
7 successes
Okay,
and 3 of them are 10s.
I think it's safe to say, Kim, that you believe him to be the most honest man you've ever encountered.
I mean, like, Ash as a person doesn't really believe people, but he doesn't think that this guy is outright lying. So he won't look at the guy, because I'm assuming, like, he was, like, Ash is behind the bench, and the guy's still looking at the pond, right?
Yep.
So he'll just kind of say, And so you just felt someone else doing this then, huh?
Yeah, what I felt was kind of that way. And he'll point towards the direction of the pavilion.
He felt me doing contract. No, that makes sense.
Oh, fuck. I just realized. Damn.
Okay, then. And who might you be, by the way?
Justin.
Just a Justin, huh?
Pretty much.
Hang on. Kind of important question before the changing taxi GTFO. Grog, sweetie, darling.
I'm not done. I'm still chanting.
Are you walking with us as we leave, or are you walking towards the thing?
He's just kind of walking slowly behind you, like half steps, keeping his eyes directly on the thing.
Okay.
Why do we have to summon dragons and just start fighting people? Like, I mean, the dude's not doing anything. Everyone's leaving. We got like an hour before the Garu scene starts.
Oh shit! Anthony's right. Technically, I just bound this person in a contract. I think.
No, you haven't bound him in a contract. You fucking gave him contract.
But if he was in
As
the,
in, he can,
if he
as
was
in
in the
he-
diameter, because I've met this character before, he would constitute level 3 actor. Also into the contract.
but in his mimicry power, you've also given him access to the contract. You
Well,
useless pill.
The mirror was done after the contract, though.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was done seemingly in reaction to.
Yes, I think he assumed that I would do it again, or something would happen again, as opposed to, because obviously you can't copy something that's already happened unless the power says you can. But I don't know the power, so let us stop theorizing and continue with the roleplay.
I've seen you around this park a few times, I think, because I can't remember if I have or have not. I want to say Ash has seen this guy. Ash is like the main character that comes to this park out of all of mine.
No, Jasper has and CC has.
Okay, that's
since-
right, yeah.
But since Ash stalks this place, he's been here every night since Saturday.
Okay. So Ash will just say, are you living here or something, dude?
Something like that.
It's a little creepy. I mean, like, there are some great abandoned buildings around this place. You know that, right?
Yeah, but that's not really my style. Well, kind of like the trees here.
It's Kansas, dude. If you want trees, go to, like, Louisiana or Arkansas.
Yeah, but that's a far travel.
I mean, but in the end, it would be worth it, though.
Maybe, but again, long travel.
Okay. So what the hell are you, then? Just to get that out of the way.
Hey, Chris, you scent worm. I dare you.
Well,
Yeah, that'll be fucking fun.
I'll put it to you this way. Aru.
Huh. That's what we needed. Another damn dog.
Oh, shit.
Well,
I don't know how
that's
much
one
rage
good
this-
vampire in the world.
I don't know how much rage this guy has, but it might be enough.
Bring it, dude.
Except for being called a dog doesn't offend him.
Damn!
Being
Is he a
called a
bone
dog by being called a dog by a creature of the worm. I mean, come on.
I'm okay. This guy is either like a black spiral or like a bone gnar. Then I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Fire.
Yeah, the last time the fucking werewolf showed up to meet Justin, not a single one of them had fucking scent worm, and I'm just sitting here going, "Come on, this is your job."
Sense worm. Who needs sense worm, dude? Just like go around and guess, and then just kill random people. Duh.
Yeah,
Shit,
but
have
how
you ever played
shit are you
werewolves?
reading werewolves?
Technically, calling someone a dog is offensive.
I am a very
Unless
offensive
you're like a
person.
fucking- unless you're like a red talon and consider it to be better than being called a monkey.
Sigh. I get the distinct impression Olaf might be right. It might indeed be hammer time.
Guys, it'll be fine. Shit.
What is this hammer time business? I mean, shouldn't we still be leaving?
He just like kind of moves his jacket to where you can see like behind him, and he's got a big like two-handed hammer, like in his trench coat. And
He's
then
hiding a sledgehammer in his coat.
yes, because it's possible, because the rules are dumb.
Gentlemen,
Well,
need
then.
I remind you a certain edict as given by our Baron?
The knight turns on you, and he will turn and say, "Yes, and need I remind you of the hierarchy?"
You may not, indeed, as I have been given special dispensation by the Baron in dealing with these individuals, and it is indeed my duty to remind you that we are forbidden from dealing with them without his permission.
Ooh.
The she will look at you up and down very coldly, as only she can do the cold look. And he will say, "Interesting. You never informed me as to this dispensation."
It was not within your purview, sir. Also, you didn't ask. Now then, we all have our duty. Are any of you particularly important friends with this individual? Do we have permission to interfere?
He literally he's still looking towards the individual because he's seen him before and turns him to look and points at him while still chanting, hoping that he now sees him and realizes who we're talking about.
At this point, Justin's still watching the lake. Well, pond.
Okay, because I don't want to type all of this out and it's kind of come to a quiet point between the changelings. He'll just say, well, that's great. I got a question though. Aren't you, wolves or whatever, supposed to travel in packs? Why are you out here all alone in the middle of, a park instead of with the rest of them?
Some travel in packs. Some decide they'd rather take it on their own.
But why in a park in the middle of Kansas?
1 second, door.
Clearly not needed here. Let the curious vampire be curious.
This is like the most Nazi werewolf I've ever seen, because all he does is just sit there and watch everyone and gain information.
You're not wrong.
What else is a Ronin gonna do?
I'm also so close to just throwing down the glove at the red cap.
For what purpose?
Offending me.
How?
Speaking back to a she.
That's the problem.
And basically trying to...
The she are sufficiently arrogant that that is the sort of thing they would do.
AKA, you pulled rank and you ended up winning, and little pointy ears isn't happy about that.
Exactly.
So,
It's
you
upsetting
just gotta find a
to
reason
notice,
to-
even though you were in the right.
I've got a phone call coming. Give me just a second.
Take your time, bud.
Right, yo.
Which is weird because I'm still on my phone.
All the noises!
Yeah.
I will actually be right back, because dinner was finished like 30 minutes ago, and I want some jambalaya.
Jambalaya. By the way, Tiger, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm over here.
He's so
There's
low.
just not
it's
much
like-
for there's just not much for Kieran to do right now besides make random rolls.
That's fair. So, which way do we want to go out of character? Because I don't really care in character.
The
Want to go and
Bogan
help, or
would
do
just
we want
prefer
to
to
go
go home. The Bogan would prefer to go home.
Okay, we've
Yeah,
got one.
We're out.
Okay, so
Like,
basically
We're out.
the prevailing wind is let's go home.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
good
okay.
with whatever, but if you decide that you want to fight, I'm summoning something big, large, and nasty.
That's a bad idea. Don't do that thing.
Yeah,
The dreaming will protect us.
that's not how that works.
Yeah, the dream will kill us.
Not the dreaming, the mists. The mist will protect us.
Possibly the mists.
I return.
Do you return victoriously?
I'm sorry, multiple people were talking. What?
I said, do you return victoriously?
Yes, indeed. I got the thing that I needed for my job.
Hurrah!
Good.
Because I have to go to work here in the not so distant future.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
Yeah, we might have to call it because it looks like ST Chris left the chat.
Yeah, I'm cool calling it here. I have need to do.
Let me just have a gook. Yeah, we kind of all voted anyway, and the changelings were all like, yeah, let's just go home. So yeah, I'll do the outro. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Chicago by night. Have a good evening, y'all.
Chicago?
Chicago?
Fucking Kansas, shut up.
Where do you think we are, eh?
Shut up.